Now look at this, it's just by Molnlick, which is the medical supplies place, but I'm out with my auntie today to do a bit of filming, and she tells me that she's pretty confident this used to be the old church. Now I'll find out which church it was and I'll put some pictures up, but look at this beautiful fence here. All handmade, hundreds of years ago. And then this is the most impressive bit for me. Look at these pillars. So whatever stood here, we're pretty confident it was a church, but for whatever stood here, beautiful entrance. And then look at this old post box. I don't think there's anything in it. Look, it's got like a letter opening in there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you go. Very, very, very old post box. Right, on to the rest of Mumps. Look at this, everyone. Watch this light. Now that's not the camera shaking, that's the bloody light shaking the whole thing. Can you see? The whole thing's bowing. And it's making that clicking sound. Right, now this particular area of Mumps, we'll take a closer look at this building in a bit, but that used to be a store basically. It sold all sorts of stuff, women's fashion, food, you name it, they sold it. This is the old bank down at Mumps, which I don't know what they're going to be doing with it. I'm pretty sure it's a protected building, so, and it looks like it's in very good repair, so I don't think they'll be knocking that down anytime soon. Plus, you know, it's a landmark of Oldham. That where that bus is there, that's where we're saying, isn't it? Where that bus was? Well, that bus is. So right over here, in the 60s and 70s, there used to be, well, earlier than that as well, there used to be a toilet block. Now, I'm pretty sure you used to go downstairs to it, didn't you? Oh no, it was above ground. Anyway, the story is that there was a fella who used to be the attendant in there, and he used to have like this little gas cooker. And one of my aunties, who I'm not going to name, she used to go in and used to get the fella to make a bacon butties. He used to cook them on this stove. But can you imagine that? He'd been cleaning a urinal, she flies in, and he makes her a bacon butty and she eats it. How vile is that? Right, now this particular building is Din Textiles. I don't know if they're still going or whether they're just using it for advertising. There isn't much going on in the building today, but it's a beautiful building. Look at these carvings in the stone. Things at it again. You can hear it, can't you? And look at this, these beautiful old features. So look, night inquiries. And then look at this. That light's really shaking now, look at that. Right everybody, what you're looking at here is the canopy that used to stand above Mumps station in Oldham. It's now been installed, in Bury. And if you want to know where I'm at the moment, I'm in the Trackside pub because I drove all the way over here and thought I'm not going to film, I can't film down because there's folk drinking and I don't think it's fair. But we're at platform 2. But yeah, this is Oldham Mumps Canopy, so a bit of the old Mumps station that's, you know, that's been saved. Beautiful ironwork that, isn't it, eh? I'm going to go to Mumps after this, so we'll have a look round there. But yeah, I just wanted to come all the way over here in the traffic to show you. Look what I've just seen on the building. Look at this, right at the very top, overlooking Oldham. Look at that. Beautiful. So now we're just going up around the back of the old bank at Mumps. And how many of you remember when you used to be able to catch the bus here? You know what always thinks me though? I think they've made it smaller, haven't they? Because these used to come right out, didn't they? Yeah, you used to have all the shelters down here. You used to do all the, well, that was over the other side, weren't it, as well? I like this sign. I've put it in one of my videos before. Welcome to Oldham. Very 90s that. But yeah, we're coming up to the bus station. Now the bus station, we'll have a look at, it says AD 1938. Before that, I think the electricity place used to stand here. I might be completely wrong, but if I am, I'll put a correction in. I'll show you the picture of what used to stand here. But this is beautiful, look at this. So you've got that one there. I'm going to try and pan over. (1938), and it's got an old, can't see the bugger now. Ah, there you go, look, an old lantern. I reckon that's been there since day one, don't you, Stel?
Yeah.
And then cobbled street. This is the side of the bus station. I've never seen this in all my years that I've lived in Oldham, which is a lot so far. But the Oldham crest. And then look at that up there, there's a... You've got the 3 owls. The 4 owls, sorry. And then you've got that fella there in a well, not a mask, it's like a knight's thing, isn't it? A knight's helmet. Now either side of that, look at this. You would have had some old lamps. But they've taken the lamps away, or maybe someone's nicked them. And all you're left with is the old wiring. But that lantern up there, we'll just zoom in on it again because it's even nicer from this side. That's lovely. I wonder if that lights up at night. I'd like to think it does. I suspect you had that hanging either side of that door, something very similar. Right, I'm going to take you up the top of Yorkshire Street and we're going to have a look at it down. I'm going to show you in this old picture that I've got. Just get a cheeky filming of the inside of the bus station there. This is Yorkshire Street, the bank at the bottom, and if you're looking at the photograph now, you'll see there's been quite a few changes from the date of that photograph as to what we've got now. And I think what we're going to do now, is take a walk up towards Rhodes Bank and have a look round there. Sorry about the wind noise, by the way. I do need to get that muffler for me speaker, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I don't know which one to buy. I did get a recommendation, but I can't find the bloody comment. So if you actually did comment, can you just repost it on here for me, and I'll get on Amazon and get one straight away. So while we're making our way up to Rhodes Bank, as I said, this building here, I forget the name of the people that own, or the name of the shop, but it was a shop, sold all sorts of different things: clothing, food, meat, groceries, you know, everything. Everyone used to flock there. Now, after it stopped being a shop, it was a nightclub for a number of years. That was downstairs. What was the name of it?
But definitely used to be a nightclub.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the nightclub. If you know it and you've been in, let us know. But I think that was around in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah. Beautiful building. Gives you an idea of what quality of buildings Oldham did used to have before they were all knocked down for this type of replacement. Frango's Perry and Steak, Portuguese themed or Brazilian themed restaurant is in there now. Hopefully that'll be open very soon. But there's some old writing actually on that blue door there. I wonder if that might be the name of the club. Something House. We'll have a look. Hey, we're just going past. Even this that used to be a club. I remember going in years ago, me and Sarah Jane, and there was a lad that was with us and he was wanted by police, and next thing we knew, these two police vans pulled up and they got him in and flung him up. But look at this here, on the bottom of the spire. Another Oldham emblem. And then just so you can see how beautiful it is, that's the building. Right, so these buildings, we're just coming up to Rhodes Bank now. Now, interesting fact about Rhodes Bank, or Union Street as a whole, back in 1824 I think it was, the most of Union Street, even back then, was mainly farmland. There was one or two buildings dotted about. Now, one of the buildings that's been there for a good few hundred years is the Royal Oak, which is the pub there. I'm pretty sure, didn't you have your wedding reception? Yeah, my auntie had a wedding reception in there, I remember it distinctly. And then you had a row of shops. Now, do you see the Rhodes Bank Chambers there? That was the Young Men's Christian Society. And up at the top there, you'll be able to see in the picture that I'm going to insert, I'll put it in now. If you look at the top there, that used to have open attic windows, but what they've done is basically they've just boxed it in, and obviously with the onset of central heating they've taken down all of the chimneys. But these are some very, very old Oldham buildings, and again, as I said before, just gives you an idea of the type of buildings that we did have, you know, until we didn't. And yeah, another location of bogs. These were underground bogs, these ones, so I imagine they're probably still there. They'll have just covered them over, won't they? They're not building on here, obviously, they just put paving down. So yeah, underneath I reckon there'll be some very old Victorian toilets, or Edwardian toilets maybe. And there's the Royal Oak and the start of Union Street. This building over here used to be a bank, you know. It was a bank. I've got the name of it at home, so if I can find it, I'll put it in. But yeah, it was definitely a bank. Now we're at the back of the Royal Oak. I just wanted to show you these windows. That one in particular. All original, beautiful. Look at them, all old original windows. Right, this is interesting. So we've just come up past the Tokyo project and Whittles. Oh, they have got boozing outside, look. Of course they have. The crazy gang were in there, weren't they? Yeah. So this is the Mountain of Fire Miracle Ministry in Oldham. And interestingly, We've got one of the original cobble streets still in existence, not covered in tarmac, which is nice to see. And then we've got George Sumner. Now look at this. Look at that old lace. It's nice. George Sumner Engineering. This area, by the way, is massive for engineering, and the Rothwells had a place down here where they used to manufacture cars in the 1920s. In fact, it was the early 1900s. I've got a video on the Rothwells if you're interested. Take a look at it, it's quite interesting. I was surprised to find out that we had that in Oldham all those years ago. Now, an interesting fact about Union Street, which we're just coming up to now. Most of Union Street, as you see it now, it's all shops. But the majority of these places were actually people's houses. Now, obviously now everything's been adopted into a shop. But for instance, this building here, this would have been someone's house. And you got a lot of the influential cotton spinners would live up here. There's a nice view looking down towards the bank. Pretty sure I've got a picture that I can show you the before and after. The church is on. Yes. Wow. I want to go. In the name of Jesus. Look at these old seats that someone's put on top of the roof there. Hey, you know what? They've obviously sat here then, don't they? They probably sit there on the break. I think I'd rather not, but so we're walking down a tiny little street now. I don't know what this one's called. Oh, Bailey Street. And we're coming out now. Oh yeah, there it is, Bailey Street. And we're coming out now onto Yorkshire Street. So we'll have a look up Yorkshire. There's Oldham Church in the background. Again, Yorkshire Street. Up the top there is where Squire Knott's photographic studio used to be. He used to be a massive photographer of Oldham. He did the photograph of the town crier Joseph. They used that to build the statue in Alexander Park. But yeah, all of these again would have been houses. Mixture of houses and businesses, and they would have lived upstairs and what have you. And then this is looking down towards Mumps. Just made our way in a big circle around. We're going to go to the Cron now. I'm showing the Cron in another video, but for those that have not seen that, I think I'll show you again. Now, the Cron building is a very old building. I'd say coming up to maybe 200-year-old, believe it or not. Now, there used to be, obviously these are the original buildings. I'm waffling a bit now, aren't I? It's getting that late in the video. But yeah, that frontage there, that was added. I would suggest probably, I want to say 40s, but then 60s. I don't know when it was added. If anyone knows, let me know. But this is the old. It's like, I said this last time. It's like a time capsule because you've got all these adverts. Look at the dates on them. June 2018. Look at this old gate. The other thing that you need to know about Mumps and how Mumps got its name. Years ago, in the early 1800s, they used to have what's called workhouses in Oldham. There was the workhouses and there was the doss houses. Now, the doss houses and the workhouses were basically where people would go who were on the, you know, skint, didn't have anywhere to live. And what they would do is they would go to the workhouses, and for room and shelter for the night, they could basically do heavy labour. So they'd work all day, and that would get them a bed and perhaps a warm meal. The other thing that they used to do is they either had to work really hard, or they used to go to church services, and then for that they used to then give them somewhere to sleep. Now the doss houses were where you weren't beholden to work, you weren't beholden to sort of go to church, but you were required to pay. So you would pay between 4 and 6 shilling, and for that you would get like a hammock for the night. So you'd have like 2 pieces of wood that would stretch the length of the room, and then in between that you would have these hammocks that were on, and that's where you'd sleep for the night. You'd be crippled in the morning, I reckon, with your back. But the Mumps name, the reason why it's called Mumps is because the people that used to live like this in the workhouses and in the doss houses in particular, they would beg in the day for the money to stay at night. And the name for these people wasn't necessarily beggars, it was mumpers. And because the Mumps area had the largest amount of doss houses and workhouses, that's where the mumpers were. They used to stay local, and that's where the name Mumps came from. And as we're walking back to the car, I think it'd be a good idea to have a look at the bank. It's absolutely stunning, the front of this bank. I don't know if you've had time to look at it, but this is the one that stands where Old Mumps Bridge used to be. And you've got that fella's head there. Look at that. Beautiful carving. And then you've got a date above that. 1906. So this building was made in 1906. And then up here, you've got more. Right, look at this. So you've got the unicorn and the lion. I'm going to try and zoom on that. You've got a ship sailing the seas. And then you've got an inscription below. Concilio et Labour. I'll find out what that means. And then you've got another at this end. Let's zoom on that one. So you've got the 2 dogs looking either side. County of Lancaster, that's an interesting one. So I don't know if many people knew this, but Oldham used to be in the county of Lancaster. Strange one, I know. Strange to us, but that's how it used to be. And then if I just cross it back across the road, I want to show you these ladies and the different faces that they've got. And then we're going to look at that beautiful door there, just to feed my door obsession for the day. Now look at these ladies' faces. Look at that. I'm going to try and pan. It's not going to work because I don't know where I'm looking at. Right, yes, so there we go. And then you've got this last one here. She doesn't have any eyes. She hasn't got any eyes at all. I wonder what that means. Look at that. Her eyes are closed. So why are her eyes closed and their eyes are popping out of their heads? This is a beautiful building, this, and it needs saving. Look at this. You can see inside. See? I look like a lunatic. I'm laid down on the floor now, almost. There's an old chair down there, look. And there's an old... Oh, I wish I could see it. I don't know if you can see that. It's like an old metal table or something that used to, like a winding mechanism. And then this beautiful old door. Right, now this building that you're looking at here is currently, it's on Castle Mill Street, and it's currently inhabited by B. Wrigley, purchasers of rags and woolens, suppliers of industrial cleaning cloths. Now this building was used as a workhouse many moons ago when they had workhouses. And what would happen is you would come here and for a bed, or for, as I mentioned before, for bed or return of going to church, you would flog your guts out here all day for about 12 hours. And then at the end of it, you'd be given somewhere to sleep. Don't know if you'd sleep in here. I doubt it, because it's, you know, maybe they had separate premises where you would be able to go, maybe with a token to show that you're grafted. And yeah, you would stay there. But interestingly enough, should I say, this area was called the waste dealers. You know, this is where everyone would bring all the waste to, and it would be turned into new stuff. So it's interesting that B. Wrigley's do exactly that. It's carrying on an old tradition. Hey, look at this. We've just come to eat McDonald's, and there's a fella.
Okay. Standing by.